Are starting to broadcast. We're gonna have a day. It's not overcast. It's bright and sunny here in San Diego. We're sharing gratitude, but not tomatoes. It's past that time in the garden, but we've still got much to share. We're having a love morning. A love morning now. We're having a love morning. I wish you'd bring a cow. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. We are trying. Yes, there we go. There we go. Still figuring out the odds and ends of this technology. Not the overall technology, although that sometimes is a trouble. Yeah, I guess overall, right now we're using Restream and Facebook and Instagram and Blue Mic and a Canon camera and you. This is Love Morning. It is a Hug Nation joint. Is a place where we can share some connection and gratitude and remember that we're not alone as we go through the world. And ideally, as we connect, as we have these moments of remembering that we are not alone, that it gives us a little bit of strength, a little foundation to go into the world and be ambassadors of love, which, guess what? You have been deputized. I have a little uncertainty if it's okay to non-consensually deputize you as a love ambassador, but take it up with the man upstairs. Because you can't help it. You are creating ripples in the world with whatever you do. So if you're here, say hello. Let us know that you're here so we can say good morning to you. Hello, Guider Jen. And hello, Gerbot. Moo, says Gerbot. You know, that brings back awesome memories. When I ran a webcam community called Citizen X, which is also a company that I was a co-founder in, it was kind of like a Zoom community where everyone had their own room, like your homepage, like a MySpace, but your space had a webcam on it, and as people entered, you'd see their pictures. So it was like, and you would cruise around into different people's spaces, and you could go to a private chat where two people's webcams would show up, just the two of you. It's kind of bizarre that there's not something similar now, because it was such a good idea. They're kind of similar. Anyway, I bring it up. Hi, Kai. Hey, Steve. Good morning, Tracy. I bring it up because anytime you're building community, there is a challenge of how do you keep it cool and clean and avoid creepiness. And when you have webcams, it definitely invites a certain element of creepiness and people who get sexual when it's not appropriate. I say when not appropriate because sometimes it is appropriate. Sometimes you do want to be flirty, but that always has to be consensual. And when people have the sea anemones and the anonymity of the computer, people often act and speak in ways that are inappropriate. And one of the cool things about this community is people were able to kind of safely explore aspects of their sensuality and their public comfortness. And that can be jeopardized so quickly when someone acts inappropriately. And it can be so beautiful if in a consensual way people are saying, oh, you're so beautiful. And you go, oh, okay, well, in that case, I'm going to maybe strip down to my underwear. And I'm getting off track. The point is, why did Moo make me think of this? There was a story that we would tell in the community meetings about a party game that I played long ago, where everyone's blindfolded, and then the host or the person running the game goes to each person and they assign you a barn animal. Like, you are a chicken, you are a sheep, you are a cow. And then you have to walk around blindfolded, finding your similar animals by making the sound. So if you are a chicken, you're like, buck, 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 buck. And if you are a cow, you go moo, moo, moo. And if you're a pig, you go oink, 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 oink until you find someone else who's going oink, oink. And then you link arms until you find the oink, oink, oink. Okay? So that's the game. Life is like that game. And if you are here right now, you're a cow. And you have heard the sound of my moo. And you are probably making a sound like moo too. And as you go through the world, you can very quickly discern who is making a moo sound and who is making an oink sound. If you bump into someone at the store and they go, oh, I'm sorry, that's moo. If they go, what the fuck? That's oink, 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 oink. So in chat rooms on Citizen X, if somebody would come into a room and start speaking in a way that was inappropriate, people would just start going oink, 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 which is like, hey, okay, this person needs to be spoken to and make sure they understand this community because they are not a cow like us. Maybe they just need to learn what's appropriate, but at this point, they're a pig and they are not welcome. So good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. This is going to be not a super long one. But if you have got something you're grateful for or ability to say hello and tell us where you are, it'd be so beautiful to know that you are joining us in this moment. Good morning, Kiri. Good morning, Janet. I love you, Janet. I love you, Kiri. Kiri says, I'm grateful today for inspiration, motivation, and self-confidence. I'm going to start my coaching business very soon. Been playing with names and branding all morning. Well, that's exciting. Bravo. Cool. Good on ya. So the thing that is most in my mind this morning, I watched a film last night. I think it's called Bobi Wine, the People's President, on Disney Plus. You may have seen an ad for it. I saw an ad for it. And it was on Disney Plus, and it was about a pop star that becomes a politician in Uganda. Now, normally, a story about Ugandan politics is not something that I would be attracted to because I know just enough about African politics to know that it's probably going to be frustrating, and there's going to be oppression, and there's going to be dictators, and there's going to be maybe even, Western corruption and all sorts of just horribleness. But a pop star becoming a politician, Disney Plus, this sounds like maybe an inspiring story. I don't know if anyone has watched this film yet. I don't want to discourage you from watching it, so I will probably share some spoilers here. Because I do think it is a film that you should see. And it is one, I've spoken about this in the past, and I think that there's a sweet spot that we need to find in terms of how much media you can take in that is looking at the suffering in the world and the oppression and the inequality. How much can you take in without being overwhelmed? It's not acceptable to put your head in the sand and pretend there's nothing wrong. And there's a level in which too much is too much. So, this film tells the story of someone who is this Bobi Wine, this musician, a very popular musician in Uganda, who had the opportunity of being on that spectrum of, ignorance to overwhelm. They could have just stayed in ignorance and just been a pop star and stayed famous and rich and enjoyed their life. But they decided to take on the regime, which it's technically a democracy. And the person who has won every of the last 5 elections is elected democratically, which is, potentially just a matter of fanfare. And so, and it's a story of him kind of challenging this regime, this leader. And it was hard for me to watch. I guess I won't get into it. I'll just say that it was the people that it follows, Bobi Wine and his wife especially, and their followers and their children. It's super inspiring to see the choices that some people are forced to make and some people choose to make, to take on adversity, to step into courage and bravery in ways that are hard to imagine. But there's also, there was these levels of overwhelm, of oppression, of violence, of military force. And I found myself at the end of the film, like, kind of struck and couldn't speak really, and was just crying. I wasn't even thinking about the film anymore. I was just like the emotions and the intensity, the feelings of spending 2 hours in this world, and the day-to-day life of these people, and it just like, it was a lot. And so I cried before bed. I had dreams all night about a oppressive place in Africa, and I woke up this morning trying to make sense of it all, trying to figure out, like, well, how far from that am I really in the world? Even if it's only on the other side of the world, how much of this, faux democracy is part of what we have in the West? Trying to have some compassion for the people that think that our democracy is a complete sham. Trying to really understand that. But I guess the big takeaway is that even in stories that are not fairy tales and do not end in happily ever after, there's still so much to be inspired by human courage, by the power of love, and by the extraordinary things that humans can do when they feel aligned with their purpose. So I'm glad that I watched the film, even if it took a toll on my spirit. Thankfully, we have places like this where we can share gratitude and kind of build up that strength so that we have more in the well to take on the difficult times, the difficult ideas, the difficult perspectives and realities that are part of being alive today. Because there's so much good too. So let's now shift. If you want to speak to that film or those ideas, please leave a comment. Otherwise, let's shift into gratitude. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Luann. Jen says, AKA Moosecock, I was talking about your playa name at Utopia last weekend. As people were asking about playa names, I was giving some examples. Although I don't think I know how you got yours, Moosecock. Maybe you told me and I've forgotten. But Moosecock says, I am grateful for the Calgary DCOM. I used to go to these events and not know many people, but this past one felt like a party with all my friends. It was magical and felt like home. Nice. And I'm not sure if this is your experience. In my experience, a DCOM is like a single day or single night event, and whereas a regional is a camping event that follows the 10 principles. A DCOM is often in a place that has commerce. You can buy drinks and things like that. Yes, cool. Luann is grateful for a beautiful foggy day in Pinole. I'm not sure if I said that right. Tracy turns 40 on Sunday. And we're going to go dance it out to Psytrance. Super cool. Excellent. Well, I am grateful for a visit from Britta, who's a friend of Lisa and mine. Got to hang out last night and a little bit went out to a local coffee shop yesterday. So I'm grateful for some connection and community and some inspiration as Britta was sharing ideas with me that were super helpful. And grateful for my relationship with Lisa and the comfort that she provided for me when I was a little disconnected last night in feelings that I couldn't quite express. In fact, we do our evening practice is, as we're in bed, we each share, I'm grateful for you, or it's really like something I appreciate about you is ... And Elisa said, I appreciate about you your tears and how deeply you feel. And for the first time, I was really like, my brain couldn't make thoughts. And all I could think was that, and she'd made dinner, and I just said, thank you for providing me food and sustenance, and I will have to speak more tomorrow. But I'm grateful for that. I appreciate about her that full-on total acceptance and that comfort and that feeling that I get of being anchored even when so much of me feels untethered. Janet is grateful to be home in LA after a week in Canada. Also grateful for our wonderful friends who cat sat so wonderfully. Yay. Gave her friends that can help out. Like, I will add some gratitude for my friend Steven, who's going to help fix the flat tires that I got on my e-bike at Utopia. There were these huge, gnarly thorns that I think I saw probably about 80% of the bicycles had flat tires by the end. And I'm grateful that Steven's going to help me out. Because it's like I wouldn't be able to change my own tire even on a regular bicycle, but the e-bike is far more mechanically hard. Any other gratitudes before we have a hug and go off into our day? I'm grateful for the understanding that I did not do Love Morning yesterday. Initially, I was intended to be in Hawaii this week, so I am treating this week a little bit loosely and allowing myself for, if we do Love Mornings or gratitudes, for them to be bonus, as I had plans to be offline this week. So I am grateful for the understanding. I do enjoy this practice very much, so glad that we can share it, but also appreciating the loose commitment this week. Indy, good morning. Indy says, I'm grateful for this live video. It is a lovely reminder as I am learning to appreciate and be grateful for more in my life. Thank you. Well, I'm grateful that we got to share a hug and a connection at Utopia. Nice to see you here. I do this pretty much every morning. Kai is grateful for the Halloween season. I have a whole rant about how Halloween was ruined by Burning Man for me, but I will save that for another time. And instead, I will try to get inspired by Halloween. And since I will be around this week, maybe I'll even figure out a costume to wear. And with that, wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze. And as you hold onto this body, allow yourself to think and believe and feel that you're being held by everyone who's here. Everyone who's ever been in this space of Hug Nation, of this recognition of our connectedness. And feel that as you squeeze us, we are squeezing you. Recognizing that we're all so much more alike than we are different. We're all doing our best with what we got. We're all humaning, trying to stay safe and find our purpose and protect our loved ones. So let's forgive ourselves when we get off track and forgive others. And take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. And feel held in the oneness. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful ambassadors of love, thank you for being here for this Hug Nation Love Morning. I love you. And thank you, sanitation workers, for taking away the rubbish, even if it means backup beeping. Have an awesome day. Love you.